So again, this Samhain by historians and scholars, they speculate that this is a pre-Celtic Gaelic holiday that's been celebrated for 5,000 years plus. It's based on their ancient mound sites. We talked a little bit about that. They believed that the barrier mounds were the portals to the spirit world on Samhain. So like on this day, they believed that a spiritual portal was awakened so the spirits could roam between the worlds.
And the burial mounds were the portals.
Yes. Also, fun fact. This is totally random, but the name Bledsoe actually literally translates to mean a hill or a mound. And it's weird when you think about it, right? Because we're going to get into this a little bit later, but they believed that also what lived in these mounds are the fairies. To the Irish, fairies are gods. But if you think about popular UFO lore, there's a whole subculture of like spiritual consciousness angle UFO researchers who are like, they're like the fae from Irish folklore, the fairies, you know? But it's believed that they come from the hills or the mounds and that the hill brings people closer to the fairies.
Well, yeah, we even talked about it on the Angels episode. Like,
yeah.
It's just another culture's depiction of it.
Right.
Same thing.
So Diana Pasolka, who wrote the book American Cosmic, she's in my dad's book. I'm not sure if she published this. I've never read her book. But she told my dad that part of her research before she was seriously involved with like meeting a lot of these UFO players, like years back, she actually went to Ireland as part of her research. And she was investigating like ancient cave sites and found depictions in like ancient, like several thousand-year-old drawings from Gaelic Irish ancients of light beings coming down and creating humanity. Like,
but you said she hasn't like.
I don't know. I haven't read her book. Dude. I don't know if she.
I wonder if there are photos.
I don't know, but there's something about the whole Irish thing and the UFO thing and the fairies and the light beings.
Well, it seems, I mean, we've talked about it. It seems like so many cultures have their version of the light beings.
Right, that's true, yeah. But I'm finding the Irish connection crazy because, and it's probably just because I recently found out through the 23andMe thing that I'm Irish, so my mind is like paying attention to that right now, whereas before I never cared.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, oh, this is cool, and I'm seeing all these details, and I'm clicking in my brain. But, so where was I at here? Closer to the spirit world. Oh, yeah. Okay. They believe the burial mounds, it auto-corrected to barrier. The burial mounds are portals to the spirit world. They were places of extreme spiritual potency. So the elevations of the mounds, according to the ancient Irish folk, believed that they were closer to the spirit world because they're higher. They were also believed to be the mounds were the places of the Owl She, or they are the people of the fairy mounds. They're like the fairies. They're bright spirits of nature. At these locations, the ancient Gaelics put great emphasis on assisting the dead's transition into the spirit world. Also, the Anglo-Saxons referred to November as Blood Month. They offered crops and animals sacrificed to gods in exchange for the harvest because, the harvest is that's why you have all this like scythe symbolism with Saturn and the harvest. It's like all the crops are dying in the fall, and it's like death is coming to harvest the crops.
Yeah.
It's similar symbolism. In defiance of the cold, the dark, and the gloom, they would hold these several, like oftentimes like 7-day festivals. And like kings, like back then, like kings of Ireland, whatever region they're from, I suppose, they would hold these massive feasts. And they would have these massive bonfires. Also believed that the word bonfire etymologically stems from bone fire because of sacrificial rituals where at these festivals they would have massive bonfires.
Of
and
like
they would,
human bodies and...
Well, I'm not sure about human, but definitely animal.
Oh, gotcha.
They would throw in animals and crops because they're thinking it's like an equivalent exchange. Like we throw in animals and crops, and then the spirits of nature are gonna bless us with more. So they would have massive fires with just animal bones everywhere.
Bone fire.
Wow. So that's where it comes from.
That's cool.
Yeah. And there's evidence of there's like archaeological evidence of like massive bonfire pits at these mounds.
Wow.
These sacred mounds in Ireland. So it's crazy how, the archaeology meets with the mythology too. But let's see. They put let me catch up to where I was. I don't have my glasses on too.
You got different glasses on. You got Moodra Man glasses
They held these
on.
feasts. Oh, it's also the end of farming season, so they're celebrating. You know, they've harvested all their food, and now they're gonna, they have to survive through the rest of the cold. They believed that the fairies, or the bright nature spirits, also held festivals in the spirit world simultaneously. That while they're celebrating on Earth below, that the gods and the spirits are celebrating as well in the realms above.
That's lit.
They wore masks during these festivals because they believed that the thinning of the veil not only affected the realms of physical and spirit, but also affected the realms of the conscious and the subconscious. So they believed that wearing the mask would allow their subconscious shadow side to come out. So at some point in history, they would have festivals similar to like Bacchanalia, where they would just do like the craziest stuff imaginable. Like they would have orgies and like just they're letting their shadow roam free.
I want to think about that for a second, because like
I'm sure you do.
You put on a mask, right? Any mask, and you just start acting different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
Well, that's
it's,
why they
it's
did
still
it.
yourself, but it's like no one knows who I am.
You know what I'm curious about? I wonder if that's where the jack-o'-lantern came from. I wonder if that was the kind of masks that they would wear. Cut a face and a freaking pumpkin, put it on their head.
Yeah, I don't know. Surprisingly enough, I didn't look into jack-o'-lanterns at all. I wish I did, but
I wonder
didn't
if
see anything
that's-
about pumpkins or anything.
I wonder if that's what it was. I thought you'd know more about pumpkin
I'll
heads.
look into it.
Yeah, look into it.
I do like a good pumpkin head.
I know.
But
You
there's
mentioned it.
there's a good one actually in the 2018 version of Halloween.
There's a good pumpkin head?
Oh yeah, he cuts a dude's head off, and then he
Clarice.
takes his brain out or something.
No, not Clarice.
And then he puts candles
Wrong
in his
movie.
eyes like a jack-o'-lantern.
Uh-huh.
But I'm pretty sure they copied that right from the movie Terrifier. But it doesn't matter because it's awesome both times. Because it does also happen in Terrifier. Do not recommend that movie for the faint of heart. It's an extreme movie.
You got pretty serious.
That's the first movie I watched as an adult, like a horror film, that I was like, I feel like very uncomfortable. It's a very, very dreadful, gory film about a demonic clown named Art. But anyway, moving on from that. Yeah, it's like, I don't agree with this, I think it's pretty clear in modern times to see, like, right from wrong, like, but I could see where they're coming from in ancient times. They believed that one day of the year where the veil was thinner, where they could let their shadow side roam free and just do whatever they want, similar to how they did in like Dionysian rituals.
Yeah.
They believed that it was like a purging of the negativity.
Yeah, I mean, dude, we're talking about thousands of years
Exactly,
ago.
yeah,
They
yeah.
thought completely
It's a completely different world.
Yeah.
But, it's like, imagine going to like an eyes wide shut mask party and then you got to, go home to your wife the next day.
Yeah, it's
Like,
pretty weird.
It's not good for you.
Sure.
It's not recommended, but they did believe that way.
So, according to HalloweenCostumes.com,
Credible source. Credible source. Yeah.
jack-o'-lantern origin comes from Ireland as well. So, according
Sweet.
to Irish folklore, there was a man sentenced to roam the earth for the rest of eternity.
Dang.
This man was called Jack O'Lantern, and he was thought to be a ghostly figure that walked around with a coal burning inside of a carved turnip to light the way.
Whoa.
The story goes that a man named Stingy Jack decided to invite the devil to have a drink and then tricked him into shape-shifting into a coin to pay with.
What?
When the devil agreed, Jack decided that he wanted the coin for different reasons and kept it in his pocket next to a silver cross to keep the coin from returning to its original form.
Dang.
That's crazy.
It keeps on going, but I'll spare you.
I think.
You know what? I just had the craziest thought. We should eventually do an episode on like Faustian type stuff. You familiar with that?
Mm-mm.
You know the old story of like meeting the devil at the crossroads and making a deal?
Yeah.
That's an old German writer named Goethe. I don't know how to pronounce it that well, but it's like Goethe. He's like one of the most famous classical writers in all of German history. Like I remember walking around Frankfurt the first time I was there and seeing a statue in his honor. He's like,
Whoa.
he's a classic writer, and he came up with Faust. It's the story of Faust. Goes to the woods, he's at a crossroads, and he makes a deal with the devil. It's where it all comes from. It's a
Wow, that's sick.
German folklore, but that could be a cool episode.
Yeah.
Something like that. Something about folk tales. I don't know.
Yeah, that could be cool.
Did you ever come across a boy with a fiddle?
I don't know.
I love that
That'd be a good one
song.
to
Dude,
find
it's
out.
amazing.
Oh
that
my
was like my
God.
favorite song to play on Guitar Hero 3.
You know that